We welcome you inside the NIU football locker room on the campus of Northern Illinois University here in DeKalb. A very big day, exciting day for NIU athletics, especially NIU football. The announcement has come out. NIU football will join the Mountain West starting in 2026. Hello, and I'm Andy Garcia, voice of the Huskies, alongside the Vice President, Director of Athletics and Recreation here at NIU, Sean T. Frazier. First off, congratulations. I know it's taken a lot of work, but it is happening. NIU football moving to the Mountain West in 2026.
Yeah, you know, Andy, this has been a ride. First off, thanks a lot for joining us today. And it's a big day. You know, it's a lot of things positive. It's a glorious time to be an NIU Husky. And I'm excited about this because this puts us in a position for the future, for sustainability, but also more importantly, deservingly so. We've worked so hard to climb this mountain and to be able to do some of the things that are necessary to be able to position us for greatness. Our football program has done yeoman's work, our donors yeoman's work, and our institution, quite frankly, who has made that level of commitment to football, FBS, and just college athletics in general. It is a special time for us.
Sean, when and how did this opportunity come up with NIU in the Mountain West?
Well, you know, it's interesting because looking back, and I've been here 12 years. You know, this is my 12th year here at NIU, and me and my beautiful wife, Rosa, we love every minute of it. But it was interesting. Back in 2022, when we kind of watched the college landscape shift, and I'm really speaking about the USC, UCLA defection from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. I remember being out in Vegas. We had a trade show, NACDA meetings, and after that meeting, we're going on vacation with my family, and this happened. It was breaking news. And I was shocked. A lot of us were shocked. The commissioner of the Pac-12 at that point was shocked. But it also sent shock waves throughout the industry. And at that point, I remember calling our staff here, back here, saying, hey, this just happened, but I've been talking to my colleagues in the Big Ten, talking to other folks that are in the Big 12, and saying, oh my goodness, you know, this is going to be a watershed moment, and we need to prepare ourselves for the ripples that will happen from that. So it started back in 2022 of looking at NIU, looking at our football, all of our sports, but it really started the process of reviewing what if, you know, and then taking a look at what I call the national model that was happening all together. Basically what was happening, that Navy, Army were using this type of model, football only, having their sports play in the Patriot League, which is an elite level academic institutions, and then also playing in the American Athletic Conference for football for FBS. Now, Army just joined the group, but they've been always running with the FBS, and then the other sports would be in another conference. So I watched that over the years. You know, I'm definitely a seasoned athletic administrator, so I've watched that model and really marveled on the fact that, okay, we're not moving our teams across the country, we're doing certain things, football having the flexibility to make those different changes. So we started to drill down on what made that work and how that model, and I call it a national model, works for an athletic department. And I did a lot of research on that going back to 2022. And as we kind of gone through the process, keeping our eyes and our communication open with industry leaders, conference commissioners, obviously reviewing things here in the MAC. So that's where it started. But again, seeing how it works from a financial standpoint was a key component for our sustainability right now.
Sean, we know football. It'll be a Mountain West thing just for football. So a lot of us are wondering what will happen to the other sports when we start 2026 going into 2027.
Well, you know, we're proud MAC members. You know, we understand that. And it's not lost on me that at some point in our evolution, our history, that we left the MAC. You know, that was a long time ago. But at the end of the day, the things that we needed to evaluate, the biggest things were dealing with the transfer portal, dealing with name, image, and likeness, understanding that the college football playoff is there. And then here's the big one, the NCAA House settlement, which then changes so many different things. All four of those things were not in place when we left once before. But I can say that those four things were not on the plate of the current administration at that time. They are on the plate right now, and they have changed the industry. All four of those things we could talk about for days on end. But how they affect NIU, how do they affect the MAC, how do they affect each and every one of our student athletes is dramatic. It is going to be a huge shift. So understanding that, we had to make sure that we put our programs on a sustainable track. And we feel really comfortable with the Mountain West, the resources that are involved, as well as doing other things for our other programs, because we are in the MAC. We're going to go through that process of review. There are a lot of options to us right now with some of the other multi-sport conferences that are more regional based, including the MAC. So we're going to take our time, but at the same time, make sure that we review all of that before jumping too fast on that regard. We've got time. This announcement puts football in 2026 competition. We will have an announcement moving forward soon about what happens with our other sports, but we want to make sure we protect that because we put a lot of resources, a lot of energy into all of our sport programs, and we want to make sure the right fit now moving forward. So there's a lot there. I think to be continued is probably the biggest issue. We're going to make sure that we go through the process with the MAC. We're going to make sure that the other sports are taken care of, and we're going to make sure that at the end of the day that this national model that we have now are going to be a part of, just like Navy, just like Army, just like others that are looking at this, is something that really fits for us at our time.
Given all the changes we're seeing in college athletics with the revenue sharing and the potential increased eligibility for junior college players, you talked about the transfer portal, NIL, just to name a few right now, Sean, but how does this move at this time position NIU for the future?
Well, it's, we talk about the whole resource issue, right? Those four major areas I just discussed, looking at the transfer portal, looking at name, image, and likeness, understanding the college football playoff, understanding what the House new settlement that be a part of how athletics is done, quite frankly, here in America. So all of that piece, you take pieces out of that. We've got roster issues. We've got rev share capability. We have the ability to generate revenue and our student athletes being able to actually be directly paid by institutions. There's a lot to unpack there. The good news is that we're not sitting around waiting for that to happen. We're not responding to that. We are now proactively charting a course. That was one of the things back in the day when this came back in 2022, the questions that were asked to me about a possible G5 playoff, about making sure that football was relevant, making sure that we dictate to what is happening in the landscape. Now we have an opportunity to do that. And I'm really excited about our leadership, our president, our board of trustees, our donors and supporters. All of those things are going to be really central now as we chart this new course. I think now, as we kind of dissect the different things that we are able to do underneath the NCAA House rules, they will be quite aggressive. We're going to have to find a sweet spot, what that looks like, what revenue share looks like for us, how we're dealing with cost of attendance, how is name, image, and likeness. There was a lot to unpack, but the great news is that we will have more resources. We will have the ability to manage things the way we want to, and then turn around and make sure that the regional component, and this is a big piece of this, Andy, is that now we've got a situation with our other sports. We're not flying from coast to coast. We're not doing some of those things that we do not know the outcomes. We're seeing a lot of our Power Four brother and sister institutions doing some of that. We don't have data sets that talk about academic and other type of hardships that might happen because of that. We know exactly who we are. We're going to have our student athletes going to have a great quality experience with the athletic competition and academic excellence, but we're also making sure that our football brand has that ability to do some of those things to maintain the excellence that, quite frankly, that we've seen over the years. So there's a lot to go through, and TBD on how the rev share, roster counts, and all the other things that go into effect this coming year for the House rules. But there's a lot there, and we needed to go through a process of review both at the conference level as well as the institutional level to be able to move forward in the future.
Sean, you're making this change again. Football moving to the Mountain West in 2026, still in the MAC for 18 months. So what's next for right now for NIU, not just football, but the sports for the next 18 months?
Yeah, so as we go through it, we've made this announcement. We understand that there's processes and procedures relative to the MAC, understand that there's other interest out there by some other multi-sport conferences. We make sure we chart that course, right? We understood what this means. We're going to follow the bylaws by which the MAC has dictated to us. We're going to make sure we do it the right way. One of the things we totally understand, we enjoy our relationships right now with all of the institutions in our current conference. We also know that we have an opportunity that very few have been able to acquire or to be able to get. So we want to make sure that we continue those relationships, both national, local, and regionally. So we will go through that process of communication, over-communicating. This is one vehicle of that. We will also do other types of things in small groups with our donors and other types of things. We do know that we're going to have to create more of a financial war chest to be able to compete on now this national level for football, as well as doing other things. Some of these things are really important to be able to take in. You know, a lot of people ask me, okay, why now? What's the situation? Well, I gave you the 4 core issues, but now it's all about making sure that we have the ability to design a plan that fits us at NIU. And I think that's a real key component as we move forward.
Sean, as we wrap things up, your message to the fans, again, it's a lot about money, right? You got to keep NIU moving forward. This is what is good for NIU football and for NIU athletics moving forward. Is fans have come up to me and had questions. What do you want to make sure that fans know about with this move for football going to the mountain?
Yeah, well, no, this is a battle cry. You know, at the end of the day, we know that we're going to have to take this moment, we're going to have to take this to a movement, and we're going to have to take this to the mountaintop. So that's what it's going to be. Right now, it's a moment to a movement to the mountaintop, and we need to ascend. We need to move forward financially, academically, and athletically to be able to meet this unbelievable opportunity. So, yes, are we going to be asking for more resources? Yes, we will definitely be doing that. We will also have an opportunity to do some things that others can't do at this moment. And that's going to be able to chart the course because of more resources, more energy, more relevancy that we're currently involved. But there will be an active participation part of our donors and supporters to help us put together the things necessary to be successful. Because just because we've got the invite doesn't mean that we've captured the first Mountain West championship, right? Those are things that are expectations, day one. Expectations, day one. When others were talking about certain things, I remember going back and having these conversations about, you know, G5 championships and getting ready for the big shift and everything. You know, I don't want to get too biblical. I was building the ark. We were building the ark. Our team was building the ark. And I think it's important now to ride that ark to promised land and do some things. So I think it's really important for us now to activate this opportunity at a level financially, academically, athletically, and I'm excited about the future.
Sean, congratulations. And Mountain West, here we come. NIU football coming to the Mountain West in 2026. For more information, NIUHuskies.com. Everything we'll have there. More information. Again, NIU football is joining the Mountain West in 2026. Sean, congratulations again.
I appreciate it. Go Huskies. Let's take care of it.